Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa. This is Lost My Thread. I am very excited today to be introducing my latest Clash of the Patterns series, the Smart Summer Shorts Smackdown. For anybody who is not familiar with the series, the idea is that I will take multiple sewing patterns for the same style of garment, sew them all up and put them against each other in different rounds. Today I'm just going to be introducing the 3 different shorts patterns that I'm planning to sew and show you the fabrics that I'm going to be pairing with them. Next time I will be talking about the fit. I'm going to make a muslin of each of these and I will show you what the fit of them are looking like. In the 3rd video I will be talking about the instructions, construction method, and in the 4th video I'll be showing you the finished shorts and tell you which one I think is the best. Before I get into the specifics of the patterns, I feel like I need to give a bit of a background about what I even mean by smart summer shorts. When I say smart shorts, I'm thinking like the British English version of smart, which is kind of like dressed up, dressy, think you could wear them to work, a little more of a professional type short, rather than super casual shorts. So the reason this all came about was because I shared in my summer sewing plans video that I was planning on making the Pietra shorts by Closet Core Patterns. I had a lot of comments in that video about people who have either made them or had their own reservations about those shorts. And I had some other recommendations for some similar shorts that I might want to try. And the more I was looking at all of my options, the more I felt like, actually, maybe I do just need to make 3 different pairs of a similar style of short so that I can decide which one I think is the best. So in addition to making the Pietra shorts by Closet Core Patterns, I'm also going to try the Palisade shorts by Papercut Patterns and the Dorian shorts by Seamwork. Now this is my first time ever making a pattern from both Papercut Patterns and Seamwork, so I'm quite excited to see what those patterns are like. I have made patterns from Closet Core before and generally had a pretty good hit rate, but I'm very much open to any of these being the winner. The key feature that all of these have in common is that they have a flat front waistband with some elastic going around the waist as well. I like the flat front. I feel like it looks more professional, it looks more polished, but I appreciate the elastic giving you a little bit of wiggle room if you are having any weight fluctuations for when you sit down. I feel like that's just going to allow me to find them more comfortable to wear, so I'm hoping that I'll get the best of both worlds with at least one of these patterns. The thing that's really interesting to me about these 3 patterns is that though they all have a flat front waistband and some elastic around the waist, all these waistbands are unique. So the Pietra shorts by Closet Core Patterns has 50%, so the front half is a flat front waistband, and the back half is all elasticized. Now, my concern just generally about adding any kind of elastic is that you're going to add some gathering, you're going to add some bulk. And I don't necessarily want a bit of excess fabric and bulk below my back waistband, above my butt, giving a bit of that diaper butt look if you're not careful. So I don't quite know how this is going to work, but my hope is that it will be able to stretch out just enough to be able to pull up over my hips and then gather in and hopefully not look too full above the butt. I will say that if you do have more of a larger difference between your waist and your hip, if they say it's more than a 2 size difference on their size chart between the waist and hip, you can add an invisible zipper on the side seam, but I am going to be either the same or 1 size difference between waist and hip, so I don't think I need to do that. In all honesty, I would also prefer not to have that faff, but I'll be curious to see how this one turns out. The Palisade shorts by Papercut Patterns, the key difference here is that the elastic goes further around. So it's just about 25% of the waistband is flat directly at the front, and then the elastic goes around the back and comes around from the sides to a portion of the front as well. The good thing about that is that it's able to distribute that fullness over a wider area, which means that each of those gathers will be a little bit smaller. So potentially you might not have so much bulk, but I am a little bit concerned that as that's coming around to the front, it might be adding a lot of bulk around my hips. And I will say, as a pear-shaped person, I do have already a bit of fullness at the hip, but I'm not entirely sure that I need to be adding more to that area. But if the gathers are smaller, maybe it will all fall out. We're gonna have to see. Now the Dorian shorts by Seamwork are quite different. They are flat at the front, but also flat at the back. The elastic is purely in the sides. So 50% is the front and back, and 50% are each of these sides that are elasticized. So that does mean that I'm not gonna have additional bulk right at the front. I'm not gonna have additional bulk above my butt, but I am definitely gonna have some gathering around the hip area. Again, being pear-shaped, I'm not quite sure how that is gonna work, but it may just kind of fall out and look fairly smooth. I really do appreciate that flat back is gonna give me a little bit less of a concern for the diaper butt, so I'm curious. As far as where these waistlines sit, it is very explicitly stated for the Pietra shorts and Palisade shorts, they are intended to be high-waisted and sit at your natural waist, but the Dorian shorts do not specify. When I look at the pictures, they definitely look high-waisted, so that is my best guess, and that is where I will intend to have them sit. I want my shorts to be sitting at my natural waist, which for me is relatively high compared to a lot of other patterns, a lot of other bodies. But the other benefit for me of having it sit higher is that if I have a top that's a little bit longer, even if I have additional bulk and elastic and gathering there, it may actually fall out by the time that the bottom of my top hits that part of the shorts. Each of these have some really interesting seam lines that create very unique pockets, which I have to say was a big appeal to me for each of these patterns. The Pietra Shorts by Closet Core Patterns has an additional seam line going down the center front leg, and that means that there's a pocket that's created from that seam to the side seam. I've heard they are good roomy pockets. I like the angle of the pocket. I like that it's an integrated pocket, which means that it's not going to be flopping away from your body. It's going to sit nice and flat. It should be pretty straightforward to construct as well. And then there is additional fabric that extends from that center of the leg to the front of the pant as well. And that creates something called a pocket stay, which basically means there's additional fabric there across the tummy, which is meant to keep the tummy a bit more flat and stop it from pushing out against the fabric as much. In all honesty, I'm not really sure I want something pushing against my tummy, especially when I'm sitting down, but with the elastic at the back, maybe it'll work. The Dorian shorts by Seamwork are very similar. They have that center front leg seam, but they also have a back center leg seam. And so the pocket extends all the way from the front to the back, which is a very roomy pocket with a bit of a more steep angle there. I actually like the look of both of these. I think that steeper angle is really pretty cool, and I'm not gonna say no to bigger pockets. I think the Palisade shorts by Paper Theory take the pocket construction to the next level though. So in addition to having the center front and center back seam with a pocket that extends all the way from the front to the back, these pockets actually have two sections overlapping, which means that you have this really awesome design. I love the look of these pockets. It is super unique. It is really, really cool. But then that also means that in the area between these two crossover sections, you get a bonus pocket. So you end up with two pockets per side of your shorts. Who is gonna say no to more pockets? Looking at the front of these shorts below the waistband, the Pietra shorts are completely flat all along the front of those shorts. The Palisade shorts have a faux fly at the front, which in all honesty, I'm not really sure why you need that. There is actually an extension on the piece so that it's interfaced and you are stitching over an interface section. So it is a proper faux fly, but I don't know how much that adds for me design-wise. The Dorian shorts though do actually have a full functioning zipper fly with a button closure at the top of the waistband. Now the great thing about this is that you don't need then to be able to pull this up over your hips, so you don't need as much of that gathering in the elastic. It doesn't need to stretch as far, which might mean that it's not going to be necessarily as bulky as the others. As far as the overall fit, the Dorian shorts is the only one that specifies that it's meant to be a relaxed fit shorts. The other two, when I look at them, they look very similar. They don't look like an overly fitted pair of shorts, and the Pietra shorts do specify that they have a slightly flared bottom of the shorts. Though it says that on that pattern, when I look at the pattern pieces of the others, I can see they do all flare out a bit at the bottom of the shorts, which I think is generally a good design for the shorts. So I'm expecting a similar kind of fit, though I have had feedback that the Pietra shorts do tend to run big. Now, figuring out the length of these shorts to me feels like it should be fairly straightforward. Most pants and shorts patterns do have an inseam length, But for some reason, the Palisade shorts and pants do not. Instead, it has the length from the top of the waistband down to the bottom of the shorts and the bottom of the pants, because this has two options for it. Now, for me, that's a bit of an arbitrary measurement because it's really going to depend on how high you're pulling those up. That's not necessarily telling you how long these are going to be on your body. So I feel like there's really not a very clear indication of how long these are meant to be. So I actually printed the pattern out and measured, and the Palisade shorts are 8 centimeters inseam, which is just over 3 inches. The Dorian shorts are 3.5 inches, which it does stay on the pattern, and the Pietra shorts are 4 inches for the smaller size range and 4.9 inches for their extended size range. Now for me, I know when I've made shorts before, I have a 4-inch inseam minimum to feel comfortable, to like the length of them. So I know for sure I'm going to be lengthening the two that are less than 4 inches. That is just personal preference. So that is the overall design of those shorts, but I also want to talk about the availability and accessibility of these patterns for everybody. And one of the key features for that for me is looking at the size range. The Pietra shorts by Closet Core definitely have the best size range. They're spanned from a 32 to a 63-inch hip, which I think is really good. The Dorian shorts have a 35 to a 58-inch hip. And the Palisade shorts go from a 32 to a 49-inch hip, which is well and truly disappointing to me. I know that Papercut patterns have been expanding a lot of their patterns to a larger size range, and I have both emailed them and messaged them on Instagram asking them if there are plans to expand this pattern, and if so, when they're going to be doing that. Honestly, guys, if you are interested in these shorts, whether you are in the size range or not, I would really encourage you to send an email to Papercut Patterns. I will put their email down below, to please ask them to expand these shorts and pants to a larger size range, because I think there are a lot of people who would like to wear this design. I don't like including patterns that are not very inclusive in my Clash of the Pattern series, but because this company has a history of expanding their patterns, my expectation is they will be making a larger size for these at some point. But I think the more they hear from us, the community, that people would like a larger size range, the more likely that is to happen quickly. So if you're interested in making this pattern, or if you just want to support your fellow sewists who would like to make it, drop them an email. Let's all bombard them with requests to make this available in bigger sizes. I know that some of these patterns are available as paper patterns, but personally I just sew with PDF, and I think it's interesting to see the difference in price between them. The least expensive was the Palisade pants and shorts by Papercut Patterns. That was 20 New Zealand dollars, which equated to 10 British pounds after conversion and taxes and everything. Now, like I said, this is a pants and shorts, so you do get 2 views for this. The Dorian shorts by Seamwork was 16 US dollars, which converted to 12 pounds and 52 pence. Now that one is just a shorts view. I am aware that you could also theoretically have a Seamwork membership, and this would be included in the membership. If you are a member, you additionally get a trouser view, a pants view, but if you're buying the pattern on its own, which is what I was doing, £12.52p. And the Pietra pants and shorts by Closet Core Patterns, which comes with both shorts and 2 different style of trouser, a wider, a more tapered, a longer, and a more cropped view. That one was 20 US dollars, which equated to 15 pounds and 32 pence. I sew a lot of indie patterns, and they do tend to be in that kind of 10 to 15 pound range, so that is what I would expect. But I will say the higher up you go, the more you're going to exclude people from being able to get your patterns. The skill level on these patterns, I think, will be a big factor in how willing people are to try these patterns out. The Pietra pants and shorts by Closet Core Patterns say they are designed for an advanced beginner, which I think makes sense. So somebody who has maybe made a couple of projects before, you might have some new skills to learn from these, but in general, Closet Core usually do hold your hands with the instructions. There's nothing too over the top or unusual about these as far as the construction. I think advanced beginner sounds right to me. The Palisade pants and shorts are classed as intermediate, which I would question. There is a faux fly front, so you do have to be able to stitch neatly around that faux fly. You could also leave that faux fly off, which I'd be tempted to do on future versions. I won't for this series because I need to make everything as designed to be accurate. But I would say, to me, that seems more like an advanced beginner type project, but this is me having not made them, so who knows, when I put them together, it might surprise me. The Dorian shorts are also classed as intermediate, which to me makes sense. They have a proper zipper fly with a button closure at the top of the waistband. I don't think that is necessarily a super advanced skill, and I think any advanced beginner who is really interested to try it out, willing to do some tests, willing to make some mistakes, could definitely have a go at it, but that makes sense to me as more of an intermediate one. When looking for fabrics, the Pietra shorts and pants recommend quite a range of woven fabrics. So they do say if you want more of a structured look, you can get linen, chambray, or even lightweight denim or twill. They do mention that you might get a bit more volume at the waist if you have anything too heavy. But they also say that for a more swishy or glamorous look, you can use rayon challis, tencel, or even silk. The Dorian shorts are recommended to be made in any kind of medium weight woven, so they specify you can use twill, denim, linen, or linen blends. The Palisade pants and shorts are designed to be made out of mid-weight wovens as well, but they do say that you can make them out of anything, so they specifically list using cotton, linen, silk, chambray, or rayon. Now, in order to be as accurate as possible in comparing all of these shorts, I'm going to be using the same fabric in different colorways. The fabric that I've chosen is the Riviera Viscose Linen Blend from the Fabric Godmother collection. It is 55% linen, 45% viscose. I have worked with this fabric before. It is absolutely wonderful to work with. I have 3 wonderful colors I'm excited to show you guys. The first one I did mention in my summer sewing plans, and it is this color that I'm going to be using for the Pietra shorts. So this is called Olive, this color, and it is definitely like a greeny, browny, yellowy color. I think it might look a little bit more green on screen, so I'll add an image if I feel like I'm not getting it very accurately. All these fabrics, like I said, they are the same. They are incredibly soft, so they feel really lovely when you buy them, but when you wash them, when you pre-wash them, they basically feel like that really cozy old shirt that you've had for years that's worn in, but they are fresh like that. They just feel that soft and worn. Because of the linen content, they definitely have a little more structure, and I think they appear more like a linen to me, but they have a bit of that drape from the viscose. And what I'm hoping is that drape is going to mean that those gathers aren't quite so bunchy, that they're maybe a little bit more droopy and drapey. I feel like shorts in this would be such a dream in the summer. It would be breathable, it would be light. There's a real bounce and buoyancy to these, and I feel like they would be incredibly comfortable. For the Dorian shorts, I am going for this navy. It's called Midnight. Now, I know this color is a little bit more boring. I do like to have some navy or some dark colored pants and shorts in my wardrobe though. I know that they will get a ton of wear, and I feel like this color has a nice depth, a nice richness to it. And I've chosen the wildest color for the Palisade shorts, and that is this one. This is called Orange. It's definitely very orange. It is incredibly vibrant. It really, really pops. And I have to say, I love it. I know it's not going to be for everybody. It is almost neon in its vibrancy. I know that I will have a lot of fun wearing these shorts and pairing it with some things that are maybe not quite so over the top. This shirt that I'm wearing, I wore this blouse on purpose because I feel like all of these colors will go really well with this top. So the idea is that I wanted to make things that I felt like would pair with the tops that I already have in my wardrobe. And though this is quite in your face, I probably wouldn't wear it on my top half. On my bottom half, I think it's fun, and I think it's going to be a really good option for those shorts. I am really struggling to put these in order on my leaderboard right now because I feel like they all have really positive and really negative things going for them. The Pietra shorts by Closet Core, I really appreciate the size range. I appreciate that they are more accessible by being more for an advanced beginner, a little bit on the simpler side. My concern about these really is I feel like they are going to have the most bulk over the butt, and I'm just not sure I'm going to like that shape on my body. The Palisade shorts by Papercut Patterns, I like the look and shape and silhouette the most. To me, that seems like it's most likely to fit me and fall on my body in a way that I'm going to like. But the size range on that one is honestly really off-putting, and it is knocking it down significantly in my books. The Dorian shorts by Seamwork, I appreciate that zipper fly, which means there's going to be less bulk in the elastic, but I have reservations about that elastic being in the fullest part of my body, which is around my hips. I'm just not sure that's going to work. So in the bottom of the leaderboard, I'm sticking the Dorian shorts for now. In the middle, I'm going to put the Pietra shorts, and at the top, I'm putting the Palisade shorts. If we can get them to up their size range, I'll feel a lot more happy about having it in that position. But I think on the whole, looking at all the factors, I think that's where we're sitting for today. This obviously does not mean this is going to be the final tiers, the final ranking, the final winners. Next time I have a video in this series, I'm going to be talking about the fit of them. I'm making muslins in muslin calico fabric, so they are definitely going to be the most dramatic bulk that you're going to see with that kind of fabric, but at least I'll have a pretty good feel of the fit and how I want to potentially adjust those patterns for my final version. The next video after that, I'm going to be talking about how these are constructed, how I felt the instructions were, if I feel like they were clear to follow, if I feel like a beginner could follow them, but also talking a bit about the construction method, which of these I enjoyed sewing. And then finally, I will be showing the finished shorts, showing you what they look like, talking about which ones I'm enjoying wearing, which I feel like work best for my shape, and the overall winner of this series. I hope you guys are as excited as I am about my latest Clash of the Pattern series, the Smart Summer Shorts Smackdown. I would love to hear if you have any leanings towards any of these patterns. I've had some really useful comments from people who have made the Pietra shorts or pants in the past. If you haven't already left me any comments and you've made those before or have any thoughts about them, please do leave them down below. But equally, if you've made the other patterns or have heard things about those patterns, it's all really useful feedback for me right here at the beginning of this series. I really do hope you enjoyed getting a little intro into the series, and I am really excited to see where it leads. Please do give me a like if you enjoyed the video today. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see the rest of the series and the rest of my videos. I will be back to see you guys very soon. Bye!